second fold of the dura mater, that is the tentorium cerebelli. This is the tentorium cerebelli. This tentorium cerebelli is known as because it is a tent cell. It is a tent-shaped fold of the dura mater. This fold of the dura mater is placed horizontally. It is placed horizontally, and it forms the roof of the posterior cranial fossa. And it divides the cranial cavity into the supratentorial and infratentorial compartment. Two compartments, supratentorial and the infratentorial compartments. This tentorium cerebelli has the two margins or border margins or borders. It is the anterior and the posterior margin. It has the two surfaces. The surfaces are superior and the inferior surface. This tentorium cerebelli separates the occipital lobe of the cerebellum which is present in the supratentorial compartment, related with the superior surface of the tentorium cerebelli, from the cerebellum, which is situated in the infratentorial compartments. Now, the anterior margin, we see this U shape. This is the anterior margin of the tentorium cerebelli. This one. This anterior margin is the concave shape, U shape. This anterior margin is the free margin. It is the free margin. While its anterior end is attached to the anterior clinoid process. While this U shape forms the boundary and opening that is known as the tentorial notch. This is the tentorial notch. And this tentorial notch provides the passage for the midbrain. So, anterior margin, concave margin, U-shaped margin, only anterior end is attached to the anterior clinoid process. Now, this is the posterior margin. This posterior margin, this one. This is the convex set, and this margin is the attached margin. It is the attached margin. From anterior to posterior, if you go anteriorly, its end is attached to the another bony structure, that is the posterior clinoid process. Then this is the anterolateral part. This anterolateral part is attached to the superior border. petrous temporal bone. On the both sides, this anterolateral border is attached to the superior border of the petrous temporal bone. Now this posterolateral part, is attached to the postero-inferior angle of the parietal bone. Parietal bone. On the both sides, this posterolateral part attached to the postero-inferior angle of the parietal bone. Now this posterior part is attached to the lips of the transverse sulcus. Of occipital bone. This is kick, go, it attached to the posterior glenoid process, then this part it is attached to the superior border of the petrous temporal bone. This is the postero-inferior angle, mastoid angle of the parietal bone, and this attached to the transverse lip of the occipital bone. So this posterior margin is the attached margin, while the anterior margin, concave margin, it is the free margin. Now it has the two surfaces, the superior surface and the inferior surface. Here it is the superior surface. The superior surface in the midline, median plane, it provides attachment to the posterior end of falx cerebri. The posterior end of the falx cerebri is attached to the median line on the superior surface of this tentorium cerebelli. While the inferior surface, the posterior part, provides attachment to the base of the falx cerebelli. It is the cerebelli and it is the cerebri. The cerebri attached on the superior surface, and this falx cerebri, base of the falx cerebri, is attached on posterior part of inferior surface of this tentorium cerebelli. If you see, this is the tentorium cerebelli. It is the superior surface. In the midline, it is the attachment of the posterior end of the tentorium falx cerebri. There is a sinus is present here, and this is present like the sloping. The superior surface is present. It forms the sloping boundary. Now it has the U-set. This is anterior margin, while the posterior margin, it is the attached margin. Now the inferior surface on the posterior part, it is the attachment of the base of the falx cerebelli. Now near the apex of the petrous temporal bone, this is the region of the apex of the petrous temporal bone, where the free margin and the attached margin crosses each other. There is a triangular area of the dura mater. This triangular area of the dura mater sometimes known as the oculomotor trigone. And it is pierced by this oculomotor nerve and the trochlear nerve. This is the upper one, it is the oculomotor, third cranial nerve. And this is the fourth cranial nerve that pierces this triangular area just in front of the apex of the petrous temporal bone, where this both margin crosses each other and these two nerves enters into the cavernous sinus. Now the dural venous sinuses present in this tentorium cerebelli. What are the dural venous sinus present? Present in tentorium cerebelli. First, at the median plane, where the superior surface provides attachment to the falx cerebri. Here is the sinus present. This sinus is the straight sinus. Straight sinus, it is present at the junction of the tentorium cerebelli and the falx cerebri. Then the parts that is attached to the superior border of the petrous temporal bone, there is the sinus present. This sinus is the paired sinus present on the both sides. It is the superior petrosal sinus. Superior petrosal sinus. Now the sinus present posteriorly, that part which is attached to the lips of the transverse sulcus. They are two in number. It is the left transverse sinus. While this one, it is the right transverse sinus. Right transverse sinus. So in brief, it is the pair of the superior petrosal sinus, unpaired straight sinus, and the paired transverse sinus are present enclosed in this fold of the dura matrix. We see the right transverse sinus is larger than the left transverse sinus, and the reason discussed in the dural venous sinus classes. Now the falx